Bharath Institute of Higher Education and Research Chennai. Admissions open for BTech, BSc Agri, BPharm, Nursing, Paramedical and Arts and Science courses.
One interesting thing about Bipojan's costumes was that they were not as ornate or as jewelry filled as what is this? What is this you're doing?
Say a film like Carter Day, which got a lot of mixed response. But today, my God, thinking of that song and I'm like, oh, my first love song and whatever. And I've come to set and he has told me to break vessels, throw something, some bed has broken,
The other major director that you worked with is Sudeep Mishra because he was such a big part of the parallel cinema movement. And he comes from a very different school from both Ratnam and Sanjay Leela Bhansali. So when you did Das Dev, that other movie, what was that like?
Oh, you like that a lot, right? You like that, yeah. I read that. I won't go to Das Dev, I'll go to Ye Sali Zindagi, maybe. Because I was also very new then. I was very excited to be working with Sudhir sir. So you'll read his scene and you'll come to set imagining. I'm also new, so I'm creating my own stories in my head. And I'll tell you the story of that song that we did. You know, there's that very beautiful Kaise Kahin Alvida song. So I'm thinking of that song and I'm like, oh, my first love song and whatever. I've built one nice story and I've come to set and he has told me to break vessels, throw something, some bed has broken, some full dramatics is happening. I've not even realized how hectic that song is and how intense that song is because I'm just like, this is my first love song. I'm breaking things and things are falling all over the place. That is his jam. And even when he's directing, he'll be like, you'll do something and be like, you're almost there. Like, what is it? Just get to that place. That's what he says. And so you're in that thing of just pushing to whatever it is that he's saying. And he communicates in a it's very like kind of little bits of communication. He's not making one full, it's like a full sentence almost. I think I was able to get understand what he was saying. And so he'll do one take, almost there, another take, almost there, got it. Like it's that. So you always feel like, oh, it's done? It's like that.
Right.
So you're almost like in process still, but he's found what he was looking for.
Right.
You know, I find that very interesting because it's not like you're arriving at it and you know that with every step you're getting closer, which is one way. Here it's like, oh, you don't even know that you got there. It's like that.
Right. No, but thank you so much for explaining these three approaches simply because you know what's hidden from people is usually the process.
Yeah.
And that's what's most fascinating because I know Aditi Rao Hydari is giving a good performance as Bipojan, but how is she managing that performance? It can't be just all her. Because the thing is, most of us, when we're asked to do a particular job that we know that we've trained enough for or pushed ourselves into, will do it a particular proficient way. But to move from there to the next level or to the level higher, you need that director to kind of...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I am a director's baby.
Right.
And
so, which is why when somebody's like explaining this, it's very fascinating because you're saying Maniratnam doesn't talk at all. He just uses maybe one or two words. And Sudeep Mishra is like this, almost like a coach saying, you can jump, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, or whatever it is. And then you have Sanjay Bhansali giving a whole impassioned speech about, you know, that situation.
Yeah.
So it's like three...
Yeah, it's actually very, very, very different.
Yeah.
But they, and actually all three of them literally like live, breathe, eat cinema. I don't think they're thinking about anything else.
Right.
Like literally.
Do you live, breathe, and eat cinema? Because I was talking to a manager before this and she said, you know, I love being a manager to Aditi because she gives a lot of time to her personal space. So I also get a lot of time off. So how do you manage that?
I have this little workaholic streak. And I had it.
You had it or you have it?
No, I still have it. I'm saying had it because I was like, if I was not working a day and I was not on set a day, I would have withdrawal. Like I would literally feel like that. I would feel like, oh no, why am I not on set? I want to do something. I want to create. I want to like, it was that, like a greedy child.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I was becoming a hamster on a wheel, literally, because I was also jumping from one language to another, and I enjoyed doing it because I worked with a lot of incredible people. But I think post-COVID, when I did Jubilee and of course Heeramandi, when I did Heeramandi, I didn't do anything else. Actually, even with Jubilee, because I couldn't. It was not possible. And with Heeramandi, I didn't even want to. I just wanted to be there. And I just gave myself that luxury to do it. She's also caught me at that point. But I do feel it's important to, you know how you said, like, you know, coming back to that dance and music space. So I feel like it's so important for um, somebody who has that sort of artistic or is a kind of dreamer personality to kind of come back uh, to your home zone, home space, and then to jump out of there uh, and not keep running.
Right.
Because I think there's something that you find by coming back to
Yeah.
zero. When I say zero, you know what
Ground zero. Yeah.
yeah. So like I love to work and I love to be on set and I'm like yearning to get back to set. But now I'm like I need to push it. I need to really feel that challenge. I've always said it, but I feel like I'm now really very, very spoiled. And I can't say okay to something that is just like, okay, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's fun. Okay, let me try it. But having said that, I do also want to be light. I don't want to take myself so seriously because it's fun. It's also fun to create with lightness, not with any kind of burden. I don't want the burden.
Right.
At
right,
all.
Right. Now, behind me, down here, there's
it
like
a cat?
No, there's like a bunch of spiral bound. Are those scripts?
Yes.
Okay. Have you picked your next?
Yes.
Okay.
I have. My next is called Lioness. It's, you know, I have my KV script still.
You
Like
have?
my favorite scripts I still have. With all the markings and like, you know, like a real student, I have like sat and put like, I have
I
them
remember
on.
the interview we did around the time where you said you slept with it, you bathed with it, you did this with that. You pretty much would feel
I
like it was like a
really
constant, you know, like
Yeah,
it.
Manisa would say, if you say scene 52, even when she's sleeping, she'll wake up and blah, 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 blah. But with that, I wanted to be like that.
Right.
I wanted to like know the dialogue so well that I could take any direction that Manisa gave me.
When that happens, you get a big director, you get a big platform, and when the film doesn't do well, how do you take that?
Again, something Manisa told me. Um, he said, we made the film we wanted to make. After that, it's for the world. And Leela, when I was a little child, also told me the same thing. She said, as an artist, you practice till you breathe, faint, do whatever. Once you come in front of the audience or camera, it's all heart, and then it's theirs. And how they receive it is also them. And like, say a film like Carter Valley Day, which got a lot of mixed response. But today, my God, people keep talking about it and saying all kinds of amazing things about it. And I'm like, where were you at that time? Why were you sleeping? But it's okay, it's a journey. And what Manisa told me is really valuable because everybody has a right to their opinion at that point, and sometimes films grow with people.
Right.
So it's okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did because it's like basically you let go.
Yeah, because I feel like as artists, what is in our control is our intention.
Yeah.
100% that you give to that intention of creating.
Right.
Once you have created and given it, there's too many things: context, time, people's moods, what they're feeling, what they've just seen, what they're going to see, what happened in their home. It's too many things.
Too many variables to
Yes.
kind of try to control.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what made you say yes to Lioness?
Lioness, I just thought was
Can you say who the director is?
Yeah. She's a new director. It's her first film. Her name is Kajri Babbar. It's a BFI and NFDC. It's an Indo-British
Okay.
production.
British Film Institute, right? BFI.
Yes,
the BFI. Okay.
that's where she's from, and that's not the reason. Though that is, it is beautiful that I'm a part of it. But the reason is that I found the script very interesting. And also, like I'm telling, like what I'm saying, like I do have this thing of I feel spoiled and I want to push it, but I also want to be light. I also want to say I want to discover, I want to be curious, and I want to have the lightness to say, okay, this is interesting. It's a new director, and I want to, I want to get into this space and do it. It's about the suffragette movement.
Right.
It's written in a way that it's two girls a century apart and how one life impacts the other.
Nice.
It is very interesting and it's relevant and it's,
Yeah. You know, I was talking to an actor and he said that one of the toughest things about being an actor today is that the audience has become so picky that
Yeah.
what you would have done 10 years ago saying, this is a not bad script, no longer works. You have to try and make sure that every script is like
banger.
bang on. He said, and getting those scripts is really difficult because it's like you read and read and read and or listen to narrations and your days pass and you're not inspired by anything. And he says that's the worst period to be in because you're like, you have to make a movie next, but then you're like, also don't want to make a movie for the sake of making a movie. Like,
But honestly, I'm kind of in that space too. And that's why I said, like, you get spoiled with people who push you. And when you see beautiful, when you see these beautifully written heroines who are more than just heroines.
Right.
I think it's also because there's so much content that's available. And there are so many creative, interesting people who are creating. So now, and I don't blame the audience because when they're watching all of that, then you will demand more from your own people. And I feel as actors, though there are very, very, very interesting people with interesting minds, are those scripts getting greenlit? I don't know. Are there producers backing those scripts? I don't know. Are they getting the right actors for the right scripts, or are projects being put together because it's commercially viable? And I feel that, like, I understand all those things. I get it, theoretically. But I'm saying, if we are in a creative medium, don't we have to get the creation right first?
Yeah.
And then make a business plan for that creation? So do correct business according to what it is that you're creating. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And again, like, maybe I'm speaking with a certain sense of naivety because I don't know the business side of it. As in, I don't know it in so much detail.
Yeah.
Of course, it's my business to know it, but I don't know it in detail. But I'm like, why can't it at least start at the correct place? Again, it comes down to intention, right? Like, anybody tells you a good story, you're going to stop and listen. So why can't we start there?
Right.
And if the right person is put for the right part, there will be suspension of disbelief and I can be immersed in that story. But if you're going to put that person there just because their last film did well, their last film hasn't always done well because of that sole human being. It's done well because of the entire film.
Right.
Because everybody did well together and it worked. So as creative people, isn't that important to understand and then go about it the right way? And maybe we'll have more interesting stuff, more courageous stuff, more honest stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So I feel like in creativity, I know there's that, like, somewhere some kind of manipulation happens, but doesn't it also have to start with, like, love and honesty?
Yeah, and wanting to tell a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. And wishing you a lot of strength to navigate the
Rest
time
of
till
it.
you reach 2034 and play your next pre-independence. You're a dancer.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to do another period film very soon. And if people are like, aren't you tired of it? I'm like, no. Because, like, I love it. It's great.
Yeah. And one quote of yours that I keep seeing, it keeps coming, I love dressing up. That, I don't know, it keeps coming up.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Because that's what I'm asked so often. All these heavy clothes, jewelry. I'm like, but I love it. If you're getting the best of it, I mean, and that's your character.
And that's your job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I am Bibbo Jan, I am going to be in a garara. I'm not going to be in patawa jeans, which is why in my actual life, like, today I was made to dress up and come and sit in front of you. I was like, can't I do this interview in a sweatshirt? And I was told no. So I was like, fine.
No, but one interesting thing about Bippo Jan's costumes was that they were not as ornate or as jewelry filled as, what is this? What is this you're doing?
That you noticed.
Yeah, because when you're doing your last mudra,
Yeah.
you're almost very spare. It's like you're not, like you just have your, it's not this heavy duty, the setting is beautiful and everything, but you're very plain.
Yeah, that is Sanjay sir. And because
And even your hair and all, it's
Right.
loose, and it's like you're almost like there's a sense of renunciation at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah, yeah.
One, the girl doesn't want to be where she is. She
Yeah.
doesn't want to be at the vibe. She has other
Right.
passions and dreams. But because she's like loyal and correct and the good daughter,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
that's what she does. She's
That's it.
also she's also the singer and dancer of the family, and she's earning for Shahi Mahal. But I feel like that was completely Sanjay sir's vision, because even in the first Mujra, I remember when we did the this thing, and I have to tell you, he literally knows every flower, every pin, every hair, this thing. He remembers it all. Um, and then the magic of the emotion. Like, I don't know how he does it, but I mean, I guess that's why he creates cinematic legacy the way that he does. But he was just like, try this earring, try that earring, and he said, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I don't want to wear that." So he said, "I also don't want you to wear it. Leave it. Let's just keep her clean." And he never made me wear anything extra. Just for certain scenes, he would say, "Today, please go and put on some jewelry and come." But it was so rare that he did that. He just wanted me. He just wanted that much.
And that made the character very different and, in a way, very pure from the others. So, because there was no great effort to show others a certain that bejeweled facet or whatever it is.
Because
So,
that's not her journey.
That's not her
and
journey, yeah.
she's so true to, she's all heart, and she's so true to who she is.
Yeah.
And that's what is like, I'm so happy you noticed that, because that is so much a part of who a person is.
Yeah.
You know, every choice that they make counts. You know, and he believes in that, this thing. It's not that, it's not just put on for whatever. That curtain is not there just for whatever. Like, and you know, you should have come in. I wish you had been to our set. It was like, I mean, I can't even tell you. And the thought that went into it, like, my room was so me. Just like when you walked in here and you said, "This house is so you." Bibbo Jan's room was so Bibbo Jan. Faridan's home was so Faridan. You know, in at least the place that she is. Each one of us. It was like very
Yeah.
fun and very cool. And that's what makes you so. That's why you feel so immersed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, actually, Revati told me something similar about her role in Anjali. She said Tota Tarani, and who is the art director, and Mani Ratnam, they both gave her the space and said, "This is your kitchen. You put everything wherever you want it."
Yeah.
So she said, "Okay, this is where I put the salt, and this is where I put the sugar, and this is where." So they said, the minute you walk in, you should know where to reach for this.
Yeah.
She said that was a very cool experience to create her space. You know.
No, really, it's so true. Even Leela, it's the same thing with Leela's house, her Tata's house. We started shoot in that house with quite a hectic scene actually. But, and Mani sir doesn't, like, it's very different, right? His communication. So he was like, "I'm going to set, do you want to come?" And I just went. And I said, I just walked around the house and I said, "Can I stay here?" It's so pretty. So he's like, "It's your home." And the moment he said it's your home, I don't know, that something changes, right? Because then you're just like, yeah, this is my home. These are my things. And you feel like you belong there.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel you belong in the industry now?
Yeah. But in my own way, I feel like, though, as you rightly said, it's been like scraping your knees, getting up, and then again running.
And let me just add, it's a very admirable journey. You know, it's like, it's one of those journeys that you want to tell people that, listen,
it's possible.
it's possible. You know, it's not like, you know,
Yeah. I feel like when you start, because you're listening to a lot of people, and also people want to make you a certain way. Like I was told very often, and the reason I'm going back to this is because I used to be told, you don't wear makeup, you don't wear heels, you look very little, you know, you have to be glamorous. All these things are important for an actor, because at that time I was just like, but why should I can do that on screen. So that was my way of thinking, but it didn't make sense in 2011-12. It probably didn't make sense. That's also possibly when the industry was changing. And today I don't have to answer that question, and I can go with very little even on screen. But I feel like that kind of thing of saying, this is me, this is authentically me, and I can celebrate that.
Yeah.
And if I'm okay with that, it will reach people.
Yeah.
That came to me when I first walked onto Manisa's set. Sudhir sir, of course, but I just spent that much more time with Mani sir because of both those films and just being at the Madras Talkies office for so long. And I feel like subsequently, because I enjoyed that experience so much and it was so much of that little girl dream, and it was more than what I imagined. I wanted more experiences like that, and I feel like, to answer your question more succinctly, I do belong because I feel like I have worked with people, each one of them has been very special and very unique and really incredible, and I've felt very protected. And I feel like today, when that I'm very comfortable being that 5-year-old, being unique, being me, roaming around in my sneakers and my torn jeans with my hair up, doing the kind of films that I want to do, and saying I want to work with certain directors, and that is what I'm going to do.
And that's happening.
And that's happening. And I feel like you are a sum total of the decisions that you make, and they might seem difficult at one point, but if they seem true, if it comes from here, just do it. And that's literally what I know how to do, and I can't fight that because that's me.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, and that's why I feel like I belong.
Yeah, and I totally get what you're saying, because it you know that this is your path,
Yeah.
but then there are so many people whispering so many things into your ear
Yeah.
along the way that,
Yeah.
that sometimes along the way they will say, no, don't go to digital. People know you as a print person. Don't do this. Don't do that. Digital
Really?
is a young person's medium. Like you may not be accepted. There are so
Wow.
many things, and something inside you just tells you,
Do it.
do it.
Yeah.
Just go ahead
Yeah.
and do it. And what's going to happen? You're going to fall. It's like, so.
And it's your own belief, conviction, and I feel like the people will find you. The
Yeah.
people who value you and the people
Yeah.
you value will find you.
Yeah.
And having said that, about the belonging in the industry, etc., etc., I feel like, say, at this point, Heeramandi has released it. Somebody asked me, have your contemporaries texted, whatever? A lot of them haven't. And that's the thing of being, not from here or not having family here in the industry per se. Your journey is not always encouraged or celebrated by the people around you. Not always. It is, but not always. But what I do is I have it's my superpower. So I'm like, there's going to be a lot of noise. I'll find the music in the noise. So I'm not going to complain about what's not happening. I look at what is happening. So I will value all those who, help me grow, help me, make me feel loved. And I'll concentrate on that. So, and this is how I like to function.
It's good. So I think that superpower should be with everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aditi.
And Mani sir and Sanjay sir picked me, so I don't have anything to complain about ever.
You haven't. I don't think anybody
Right?
can. But to get there is what is the interesting journey, because it's like you do a film with Bijoy, and it's all it works out. So yeah. So,
Really. Yeah, Vidhu sir, Bijoy. But I feel like all these people are kind of also connected. They're I don't know, in some way, right?
it is right. So see, sometimes when people say things like universe, manifest, this, that, and all that,
Yeah.
it's hard to put it together. But sometimes you feel that maybe you can't depend on it totally, but you do feel that if you put in that work, things happen. And let's not get too into that kind of but let's just end it here. But thanks, Aditi. It's always a pleasure talking
Thank
to you.
you.
And
Fun.
it felt like a second conversation about Heeramandi, because about a year back or something,
Yes.
or maybe a year and a half back, we both were on the same flight,
Yeah.
and we changed the seat and sat
Yes.
next to each other and talked non-stop about only Sanjay sir and Sanjay sir and Sanjay sir.
Yes.
Kind of. So this feels like a part 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. It's always so much fun talking to you, whether on a flight or in an interview.
Thank you.
And it feels the same, honestly.
Yeah.
Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. Admissions open for BTech, BSc Agri, BPharm, Nursing, Paramedical and Arts and Science courses.